Alright, so how's it everyone? Winston Goods here, aka Mr. Mayor Forex Trading. Alright, this is a quick 10-minute crash course on how I set up my trades, how I look for trades, and how I do my chart works. And so it's just a quick 10-minute crash course. If this helps you, please let me know. Send me a message, and please join the Facebook page called Forex Hangout as well on Facebook. It's a free page to join. If you need any help or need any advice, please, on the Facebook page, drop me a message and I'll get back to you there as well. Alright, let's run through this quickly. How do I do my things? First of all, I go to a thing on Google. You type My FX Book. My FX Book is a very important thing to know. On My FX Book, you get news, you get all these little things, tabs on top, but the one we're going to go to is community, and once you're in community, you go all the way down to sentiment. You want to have this page open, and you want to keep it open. You want to keep the sentiment open. Alright, so let's go. So on the USD, I'm going to do this one quickly that I'm in at the moment. I'm currently in the Aussie USD and the pound yen, and both of them are up $4, almost $5, almost $5. So both of them are almost up together, almost $10 up already on these two trades. Alright, now how did this happen? How did I get into these trades, and how did I do my things? Number one, I was looking for support and resistance. Well, not support and resistance, supply and demand zones. Now, in the supply and demand zone is where on my chart I put my trades in as soon as price action gets to these levels. But the direction that I'm taking with my trades, how do I know to buy or how do I know to sell? Well, Aussie USD came into this supply and demand zones, and I will explain to you guys now how do I get the supply and demand zones. It came into the supply and demand zone. I went to my sentiments, Aussie USD, that's what I'm looking for, Aussie USD. Let's see what traders are doing. On sentiment, sentiment tells you what traders are doing on that currency pair. Now I am on the Aussie USD, so now I'm going to look for the Aussie USD, Aussie CAD, Aussie USD. There it is, Aussie USD. So on the sentiment, it tells you what traders are doing. At the moment, 35% of traders are short, have sold this pair, but 65% is in a buy position on this trade. So there are more traders, more people buying this asset than there are people selling this asset. Volume wise, if you can see, if you can read the volume on this little follow box there as well, under volume you can see 1029.98 lots are on the selling position, but 1942.87 lots are buying this position. So I know I want to buy. I want to go where the crowd is going. I want to buy. So yes, I am looking for a buy position. So when I go back to my chart here, I see, all right, so Aussie USD, sentiment also tells me buy, but when will I buy? I will buy as soon as price goes into these supply and demand zones. And I see long wicks. Before I jump into a trade, I don't, if an asset comes into the zone, I don't just buy or sell when it gets there or buy when it gets there. No, I look for things to happen. There must be wicks, long wicks happening. As soon as I see wicks, then I know the buyers are there. As soon as I see wicks or engulfing candles, I know the sellers are there. Engulfing candle is when a candle is bigger than the previous one. That's called an engulfing candle. I see wicks, I see engulfing candles, so I know the sellers are there. That's why I put in a sell position. Comes down here, I see that there are long wicks and it's starting to go green, so I will put a buy order in there. Now, my sentiment tells me that people are buying this asset. It's in the supply and demand zone. Now, how do I get these supply and demand zones, you ask? Let's do this on, let's see which one I got open here. Let's see, CAD Swiss franc. This is a open chart, nothing has been done to it, it is completely clean. This is how I mark off supply and demand zones. I right click and I go to time frames and I go right to weekly. the weekly time frame. I'm on the weekly time frame. So now on the weekly, I start reversing out and I look for places where there is a lot of price action, a lot of turnarounds. All right, so I can see if you drag this line, I got the line from there, I just put it in just to guide me quickly. All right, so I do see that this is a zone of interest. It's been tested once, twice, a couple times. It has been tested as a sell. So, and there it has also been tested as a buy. So now I'm going to add a rectangle. I'm going to add a box to this zone. How do I get the box? I go to Insert, Objects. If it's not there, you can go right back down to Shapes. You can see Shapes, Rectangle. Click on that. And now I can see, I'm going to mark off a nice little box, a nice little square box here, just like that, to make it in the middle of those two, of that line. So let's drag it up. There we go, just like that. All right, and then I go to that little square box there and I double click. So now that box is not going to move. Now I have got a point of interest. This is a supply and demand zone. Right, so now I have got my weekly supply and demand zone. Let's do the bottom. So this is where they're going to sell. So if price goes in there, my sentiment says sell, and I do see I'm in here, I'm going to put a sell order in. Now let's look for buy. Let's do the same. I click there. Let's take this line quickly and let's see, where are the buyers? Where do the buyers line wait? Oh, okay, yes, I can see here. I can see that there are buyers over here, right in this area. So now I will go back to Insert, Objects. If your rectangle is not there, go down to Shapes. You can find your rectangle there. And I'm going to mark this area off quickly here. That's just a bit too wide, so let's thin it a bit down to there, to there. All right, look for the little boxy right over there. So now I've got two supply and demand areas. I've got a supply and I've got a demand. All right, so this is where people are going to sell and this is where people are going to buy on the weekly. From here, I go down, right click, time frames, and I go down to daily. I want to go down to my daily time frame as well, and I reverse out. Now I see on the daily, this looks very, very interesting. I'm going to look for some places where there is a good turn. So let's grab the line again. Let's put it in there on a daily time frame. Let's see which area has been actually been used a lot, and this looks like it right over there. I'm going to leave the red line there because this is a supply and demand zone, but more a resistance line than supply and demand zone. Okay, it is at the bottom here. So now I'm going to try and look for some buying opportunities or selling opportunities. First, let's go see CAD Swiss franc. Let's go to sentiment and see what are the people doing with the CAD Swiss franc. Let's look for CAD Swiss franc over here. Let's see if it is somewhere. There's a CAD yen, pound Swiss franc. You just have to go down and look for CAD Swiss franc. There we go, CAD Swiss franc. What does the sentiment say? All right, so 7% of traders are short on this position, while 93% of buying this position. So I know I must look for a buying opportunity because the crowd is buying. People are buying this asset. Okay, so now I know people are buying it. So I'm looking for a buying opportunity. With that in mind, I'm looking for buy. And I can see why people are buying because it is in this level of supply and demand. So people are obviously going to buy. I am on the daily. Let's go in a little bit. Let's see on the daily, what do we have here? Okay. On the daily, let's just mark off a little bit of a resistance line. I'm going to use this one from up here because we're not up there yet. So let's use this line. Let's see what's happening. Okay, so I can see that this is a resistance over here, and the asset is in a ranging market. It's going up and down, up and down, up and down from here. Between this one, Alright, so let's make this one a green, because that is a support. Let's make it green. So how do you do that? It's quite easy. You go onto you have to make sure that if you see you can't do anything with it, double click on it till you see a little green box pop up. Then you know you can work with it. You right click on it, you go properties, and you go, I like to make things a lime green, because lime green stands out a lot more than normal green. Alright, so I do know that there is a support, and it is a weekly supply and demand zone, but also see here is a resistance. Now resistance, it's not the supply and demand zone, but it is a resistance. So we're going to wait for price action to break above this before I will put a buy order in at this stage where it is now. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Let's see when I can put a buy, or I want to look for a buy, so I'm looking for buy opportunities. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Beautiful. You see what it is doing here? It's jumping in between these, but now it is here on a lovely little resistance line over here. I can see that. So let's move this green up to where this resistance is over here. I can see it's been tested a couple times. Yeah. All right. So now I've narrowed it down a lot more. What I'm going to do, price is in the middle at the moment. It's not moving anywhere. Now, if you're looking for a selling or a buying opportunity, this is not it, because usually a lower low with a lower high, then you need to have a lower low as well with a lower high, but you don't have that here. You've got a lower low, lower high, but then you've got a higher low. So this is not a typical movement of a down or uptrend. This is actually a triangle formation. Let's go quickly. Let's see. If you go from there to there, look that, and if you go from there to there, you see what is happening. This is a triangle. So this is also a pattern that you can follow. Now from this pattern, according to the rules of this pattern, price is either going to break to the upside or price is going to break to the downside. Alright, so you have to wait. From here, there's no trading for me. There's nothing I can do here. Yes, people are buying this asset. It's nice. But just because fundamentally it says people are buying it, you can't just go into your map or your chart and go buy the asset. You need to wait for it to be at the right level, to where you want to enter it, to minimize your risk. Because yes, I can put a buy order in here, but where do you put your stop loss? Yeah? Where do you put your stop loss? There's no way you can buy there and put a stop loss all the way down there. It's going to drain your account. You need to get yourself in a position where you have a small loss compared to a big gain. Now let me show you. So from here, there's nothing for me to do. I'll wait for price to either get there and see if I can see some rejection happening, like long candles or so forth, engulfing candles. Then I might put a sell order in, but that is going against what the people are doing. Or if it does break down to the downside, I'm going to wait for it to get here. If I do see long candles, rejection, like this wicks, I will jump in for a buy opportunity. All right, let's put an example of the Aussie USD that I'm in currently. So I waited for the Aussie USD to come back into this level of supply and demand. Now we know how I got the supply and demand zone. So I have this demand and supply and demand zone over here. So I waited for price to come back in. Yes, sentiment said that people are buying this asset. They are buying it. So I could have jumped in at any place. But I waited for price to come into here so that I can have a small loss. There's my stop loss. I put an order in there. There's my stop loss, $2.60. But I can stand to gain $26.50. Now, do you remember, this is a $50 account that I opened up to show how you can grow a small account. So I need to put myself in a position where I can have a small loss with big gains. I don't want to enter in the middle just because sentiment says people are buying. Now I see, oh, there's a green candle. Now I'm going to buy there. Where are you going to put your stop loss? You're going to need to put your stop loss below a zone of interest. Then that will give you a $10, $15 stop loss. If it doesn't go your way, you're going to lose $15. You need to put yourself in a position where you can have small loss, big gains, if that makes sense. So wait for price to come into these zones. Once it gets close to these zones, go look at your sentiment, go look what people are doing with this asset. Now I've got another one open here. I've got the pound yen. Let's look at the pound yen. That I put a sell position. I didn't put a box here, I just put 2 lines over here just to make it easier. I saw price every time, this is a 4-hour time frame, every time price comes into this zone, it gets rejected. Comes close to there, it gets rejected. Goes in there, gets rejected. Goes in there, so I know there are sellers over here. I know there are buyers over here because I can see the rejection happening every time price gets to these levels. Now do remember, big traders or all the traders around the world, they're not just going to get into a trade spontaneously all at the same time. They all mark off these same levels, and at these levels they make their decision upon where they're going to go, what they're going to do. So you need to wait for price to get into these zones to put yourself in a good position and to know that at these places are where people are going to make their decisions. You don't want to open up a trade half in the middle, because you are just going to blow your account. You're going to cry, you're going to be sad, then you're going to say this is all bullshit, this is a scam, it's not working. Where if you can just follow rules, set yourself rules and stick to those rules. I could have sold there. I could have said, oh, it is close to that zone, let me sell, let me put a sell order. I see there's a week, okay, there's a nice long week, and I'm going to put a sell order in there. You put a sell order in there, your stop loss just above there, price goes in your favor for a bit, you are cheering up, you're opening up beers and having some whiskey, and then bam, it knocks your stop loss, because price will always go to these zones. It's attracted to these zones because that is where people are waiting. So once you're in the zone, you put your sell order in, and there you go. At this let's work on this specific one here. I saw price went into the zone, so, and let's look at sentiment. What are the crowd doing? This is a pound yen. Let's look at where the pound yen is quickly. Pound yen. I'm just looking for it quickly. Hey, oh, there it is. Pound yen. Look at this. People are selling. 79% of people are short on this asset. Only 21% are long. Those of you don't know the terminology, short is sell, long is buy. So there are 21% of the traders that are trading this asset are buying this asset, while 79% are selling this asset. So more people are in a sell position. So I want to go there. I want to go where people are, and they are selling. So this gives me a confidence that, okay, I need to sell. But when do I sell? Just because sentiment says we're going to sell is not, for me, a good enough reason to say that I'm going to sell. I'm waiting for sellers to jump into the market to tell me that yes, they are going to sell there. They are selling there. So I saw price went into the zone. I saw a little rejection candle there, but this is a small candle, so I wasn't too sure. I left it and I saw, okay, it's breaking down. Then I saw, bam. Look at this nice engulfing candle. Engulfing candle is a candle that is bigger than the previous candle. That's an engulfing candle. Once it finished this engulfing candle and it went to the next candle, I told myself, okay, let me wait. Let me see what's going to happen. And price action came up, and I saw some rejection. And that's why I jumped in there. I put my sell order there, and my stop loss just should actually be just above there. Actually, I put it in the wrong area. Alright, so that gives me a stop loss. I could lose $3.58. On a $50 account, $3.58 is not too bad. Not too bad. But what can I stand to gain? $42.12. And it is going in my favor. It's going in the direction I want it to go. I'll keep an eye on it. What I'll do is I'll just move my stop loss down and do a trailing stop, doing a trailing stop, and see if I can follow it all the way down to there. So if you understand what I'm telling you guys now, you need to get yourself into a position where your stop loss is small, but your gains are high. I hope this quick crash course made sense to you guys. Please, if you are battling, or you need some advice, or you're looking for just some advice, please go and join the Facebook group. It's called Forex Hangout on Facebook. Send me a message on there, or on the YouTube channel, send me a comment, write a comment, and I will get back to you, and I will try and help you as far as I can. Now remember, no one knows anything and everything about the market at the same time. Every day you learn something new. So I'm not saying that I'm the world's best trader. I'm saying I can help you to the best of my ability, to the best of my knowledge, to the best of what I know. Alright, so please share this video as well. If you find value in it, or if you know someone that is battling and someone is looking for something to do to earn an extra income, send this video to them. Send me messages, write comments, join the Facebook page. If you want to make some money, you need to get to a position where you can create your own wealth. And trading is not for everyone. It's definitely not for everyone, because trading is difficult. It's not easy. But if you have rules and you've got a trading strategy that works, and you stick to that strategy, you will make money. You will. So please, if you have any more questions, like, subscribe, send me messages, and I will definitely make sure to get to you, and where I can help, I will help. And it's all free. I'm not charging anything for my help, for my knowledge. I'm not going to charge anyone anything. It is a free channel. It will always be a free channel. I don't have any Discord or any buy this, or I will sell you this course, or signals, or whatever. No, I want you to better your own life. I want you to learn to trade, and trade by yourself, not rely on other people. You should never rely on other people to help you with your own finances. You do it yourself, and you can empower yourself. From my side, Winston, good to see you. Have a good one.